Hi, I'm Wei. I'm one of the many bloggers at Teensburgh, and I'm going to introduce you and interview Jesse Andrews, author of Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. Alright, so your book broke a lot of cancer book, like stereotypes. Did you think that was hard to do, or did it come like naturally to you to just want to break all the stereotypes?
Thank you. First of all, that's a flattering thing to say. That was my intention. That was what I wanted to do. I am kind of a Carnegian type of person, and so I don't know if it came easy or difficult. I don't think any writing is super easy, but that's exactly what I want to do. So I'm very flattered and pleased to hear you say that.
So it wasn't hard to like keep it realistic instead of like having like this manic pixie dream characters?
I mean, yeah, I guess the hard thing about it, because I was really trying to go for a kind of extreme realism, and the problem with extreme realism, verism, not that this really achieved that extreme, but is that the things that happen in the real world that we actually inhabit and the stories that we live out in this real world are much more boring usually than the ones that get written in your Manic Pixie Dream Girl books. And so you have to, the hard part of trying to write something that is really, as realistic as you can make it, is to make sure that there's still a story in there, and not just things that happen in sequence in a way that is random and kind of not fun to read about.
Yeah, you did a great job with that.
Thank you.
Okay, so in the dedication you said to Shinley, which Benson is not, how has your high school affected the book and to a greater degree your life?
Oh man, I'm so happy that I got to go to Shenley. Especially, after that I went to Harvard, where very few of my classmates had the same experience that I had in high school. They had not, been educated among a student body that was as diverse as Shenley's, and if they had, maybe that diversity hadn't been as harmonious as I think Shenley's was. It was really a uniquely multifarious place, and so Benson is a little different from Shenley, because in Benson all of these groups are kind of at odds with each other and struggling, or at least that's according to the narrator, Greg, who probably is exaggerating the extent to which that's happening because he is insane. But Shenley wasn't like that. Shenley really, you had everyone kind of doing their own thing and really appreciating the other people doing their own thing, and it was it was so cool to go there, and it's a big shame that it's gone. Not to get on the soapbox, but it's I really wish that it still existed. It was such a good school.
Right, sometimes authors write about what they know and they take from past experiences and people. Was anything in the book related to your personal life?
Right. I think I think so. The characters, for example, you probably can't trace any one character to someone who was in my life, and I would like to think that that extends to the main character. I don't think that that's me, but some people do read the book and think that it is, and so I can't, that's their right to think. But I think the characters, they're each kind of a collage of people that I've known and then stuff that I've invented too. And I think that's kind of a banal thing to say. That's probably true for every piece of fiction that is written ever. As for the fact that it's about a girl with cancer, that has never happened in my life. I don't want to get too biographical, but when I was writing it, my grandfather was very ill and clearly not much longer for this world, and it was just on my mind about how people deal with death and how difficult that is, and what we feel that the expectations are, what we think we should feel, and then how different that is from what we actually feel. And I think that led me to write the book about cancer and specifically about being a teenager and grappling with that, because I wanted to write about teenagers. And yeah, as you know, to tie it back to your original question, there are a lot of books about this, and they present that phenomenon in a certain way, and I wanted to present it in a slightly different way.
Right, you did it like the book was very funny. Was it challenging to like keep the humor high, or did it just like come naturally, all the jokes and everything?
Yeah, it was challenging. It's hard to write funny stuff, and I'm glad that people have found it funny. I mean, that's the thing. You can never know, you know, if you write something, like, is it hilarious? I don't know. Especially you edit it, and you've read it like 20, 30 times, and after a while you can't even tell if it's funny. So it's it's such a relief that people actually do find it funny. It's easier to write a funny book because you have basically limitless time to do it. So even if you come up with one joke a week, you know, after a year, that's 50 jokes. That's a lot. So yeah, it's not, you know, when you read the book, it does seem as though it's all just come out at once, and I think this book especially is written in a way that, you know, the words really kind of tumble after each other. But it took a long time to write, and yeah, that's sorry.
All right, my last question is, what's next?
Oh, what's next? Yes. Well, book-wise, I've been working on a book that's not for teens. It's although teens are very welcome to read it, but they might find it kind of boring because it's about Wall Street, or it takes place on Wall Street. It's about a lot of things, and there's no dates associated with that. I'm just trying to educate myself about finance and write something. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And I have the extreme good fortune of getting to work on some screenplays too. So the screenplay for this book, I've spent the last, you know, maybe year working on, in addition to other things. Hopefully it will get made into a movie. Right now there seems to be a lot of momentum with that project, so that's great. And yeah, it's that when you write a script and people work on it, that means that you might have the opportunity to write other scripts that people will make. I did not phrase that very well, but that's so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm maybe preparing to write a few other projects. I am working on one script which takes place on a cruise ship and is about how weird cruise ships are. They're just big, strange places. So
Definitely.
anyway, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Wei. Awesome. This has been a pleasure.